music.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whether it be your first time, your last time, thank you for taking this time to be here with me. I am AP. This is your host for Timeouts and Tangents, and we are joined on this wonderful afternoon by the illustrious, the famous, the trailblazing, the man, myth, the legend himself, Mr. Jake Crain of Crain and Cone. Jake, thank you so much for being here, man.
Well, look, AP, first off, thanks for having me, buddy. Really enjoying what you're doing. You're off to a great start, man. Keep doing it. And when you asked, there was no way that I wasn't going to come on here. And I hope it's okay that my 1-year-old's on here. Mom had to run into work, so I'm on daddy duty right now. She's been on a couple of these, so she's kind of a vet in the game. And yeah, she'll probably end up talking before the end of this thing gets done. But nah, man, just really proud of what you're doing so far. And anytime I can ever help, man, just let me know.
Oh, I definitely look. Like I tell everybody, man. Like once you get a hold of me, I'm like bad grass. I'm hard to get rid of. So I'm
believe me, I know about that right about this time of year.
So look, let me ask you this, Jake. It's Friday evening. You just touched down Louisiana, New Orleans specifically. You're coming to town for a Saturday night game at LSU. What's the first place that you're going to?
Man, so I'm in New Orleans. I tell you, the first place I'm going is Lucy's.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go over to Harrah's to play a little baccarat and blackjack. Then, man, just kind of cruise up and down. I like when I'm there to definitely diversify the portfolio wherever we go. You know, I mean, having a kid, it may be different this time, but I've always it was something me and my dad did. He recruited the state. Whenever I'd go down to New Orleans with him, we'd always go to Lucy's and then ended up going to Harrah's. I tell you a funny story. I probably shouldn't say this, but when I was 20, I went down there with him, and we went and ate at Lucy's, and then he was going to go to Harrah's, and I went in 21. So he's like, look, man, just go hang around, go find something to do, this, that, or the other. And I was like, man, I'd love to go in there and play with them. They may never let me back in Harrah's again after they hear this. So I actually paid a random woman to talk to the security guard at Harrah's, and I snuck behind the plant, got into Harrah's, went straight into the bathroom, and my dad's there taking a leak at the urinal. I went and slapped him on the ass and was like, hey, man, let's go win some money. I won $1,200 in baccarat that night. No joke.
What?
No joke. Yeah, $1,200. And they didn't ID me at the table for anybody that's going to ask.
Nah,
so
that
probably not allowed in Harrah's again, but that's a true story. True story.
We won't release that as a clip.
Yeah, let's save that one for maybe here in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, if LSU makes it to a natty, then we'll put it out there after you go back and win again.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely let me in this time.
Absolutely, man. So, you've been to Death Valley before at night, right?
Oh, I have. When I was 12, and if you don't know this, I'm from Auburn. I'm an Auburn fan. I'll never forget. We were out there tailgating. I brought a buddy of mine with me, and we had our Auburn stuff on. And there was this. We were just walking kind of by the tailgate. It's not too far away from the parents. But believe me, they let us know. Don't go too far away with wearing Auburn stuff. I'll never forget. There was this tent, and this guy had this huge pot that he was stirring. Huge pot he was stirring. And so it smelled amazing. So we stopped over there and was like, hey, man, what you got in that pot? And he's like, oh, man. He started listing stuff. And he's like, but I'm really known for my duck sausage. And he's like, you guys want to try some? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, well, why don't you Auburn boys duck down here and get it then? And it took me about 10 seconds to realize that was not an offer of friendship. That was him kind of letting me as a young guy know, if you're going to wear Auburn stuff down there and it's not LSU stuff, you're going to hear about it. So
I
respect it at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's that early edition of STTBD. That's what you got.
100%. And we got it. Believe me, we got the message very quickly.
So look, LSU is just basically walking on any campus, and they're snatching up coaches and players right now. Is LSU basically displaying that they're the biggest brand in college right now?
Well, I think they're showing they can swing a heavy stick. I mean, even with the Will Wade stuff here, and we know that the way that LSU feels about baseball, I don't think Will would have taken that job if he didn't feel like there was going to be good enough resources around him to do some big things. But I think what LSU is trying to prove right now is that, there's this knock on the state of Louisiana that, it's poor. It doesn't have, just like Alabama and Mississippi and these other places. And I think they're trying to go ahead and kill that narrative. I mean, LSU's always been a national brand to me. I mean, I was born in 1989. And LSU's always been, very relevant, especially when I got 12, 13, somewhere around there. So I don't think that you have to convince any kid in California that LSU's legit. But at the end of the day, and it was like this before NIL, but it's even more like it now, you've got to be able to spend the money, and you got to prove that you can spend the money. And I think what LSU is trying to show right now is that, look, we can go out here and if we're going to turn this into financial combat, we're willing to do that. So I think it's kind of a nod to the fans that we're doing everything we can do. We're willing to spend, and I think the proof's in the pudding with who you have there. And again, you look at Kim Mulkey too, one of the best women's coaches in the game. So LSU ain't playing around.
No, what type of impact do you think that this is going to have on other, like not just fan bases, but other administrations in college athletics right now?
Well, look, you've got to pony up. Like, you're not going to live in this world if you're not going to pay. Obviously it's circumstantial based on every different institution, but we all understand that in the Southeastern Conference, it's always been an arms race, and in every aspect: recruiting, on the field stuff, stadiums, facilities. Now, obviously, NIL and things like that. You are going to have to join the arms race. It's the United States and the Soviet Union back in the day. Like, if you're not willing to pay the money, you ain't going to be a superpower. And again, I think LSU realizes, how much money they make off athletics, and yes, LSU is positioned, I think, differently than in Auburn or Alabama or Mississippi State or even a Tennessee and Vandy, because they are the state school. They're the only school. LSU is not losing kids to La Tech. LSU is not losing kids to Tulane. They're not losing kids to Southeast Louisiana. It's them and the Saints, and they're not fighting over the same players.
Absolutely. That is such a great point. Have you ever seen two coaching hires take place the way LSU just handled these two high-profile jobs?
Well, look, I think when you look at the way it went down with Will Wade the first time at LSU, and look, we saw Bobby Petrino get hired back at Arkansas. I mean, anything can happen now.
Thank you.
But I think LSU was showing, and look, this is the way it is in business. Like, the best salesman in your office may not be the nicest guy, but he's going to get the biggest bonus because he's making the company the most money. Will Wade put LSU basketball in a position that they hadn't been in a while, and they hadn't been in since. So regardless of, and now that it's legal to pay players. I mean, it's not like he, joined Hezbollah or something. He's going to come back and try and get them back to where they were. So, look, at the end of the day, you can like it, you can not like it. I wish that every winner and person that was great at their job out there was a great person too. But and I know, and the audience watching this knows right now, that's not the way the world works. And you need to win, and winning cures basically everything. So I'm not shocked. And if you're a content creator at LSU, man, what a time to be alive right now.
Right.
This last 8 to 10 months has been wild. So no, I'm fired up. I love college basketball. I've always loved college basketball. You know how I feel about college football, but yep. I want the SEC to be the premier conference in college basketball. And I think getting Will Wade into what's already a loaded-ass conference, when you look at the head coaches, now I'm just waiting on Chris Beard to end up somehow back at Texas if Sean Miller leaves. I mean, that would complete, like, the triangle of forgiveness.
Just bring it all back full circle for the conference. And you kind of just touched on my next question, is what kind of impact will Wade returning to LSU have on the rest of the college basketball world outside of Baton Rouge?
Well, look, I mean, I think at NC State he was going to have success. I mean, again, like the guy or not like the guy, there's plenty of people do. There's plenty of people that don't. He understands how this game is played. I think when it comes down to evaluation, he's one of those guys that's brutally honest. I mean, just look at his post-game press conference after they lost to Texas in the NCAA tournament. He's not afraid to mince words. He's not here to make friends. He's here to make history. And I to me, it obviously affects the Southeastern Conference more because it makes LSU a place once again that not that. And look, I think Matt tried really hard. I think his players played really hard for him. But look, my washing machine works hard, but it's not winning the SEC at any point in time. That effort gets you through the door. That's expected, especially at a place like LSU. So I think it makes the SEC that much harder, but also adds another team that when they get to the NCAA tournament can do some things. And it's just, another place that's going to add another problem for teams that have to play them.
No, absolutely, man. Look, Matt McMahon, I went over this when I did a stream last night. I mean, Matt McMahon's record at LSU in the SEC in his time here was 17-55.
Oh, it's terrible. You can't survive that way. I don't care how many old ladies you walk across the street, how many Girl Scout cookies you buy. You got to win at a place like this. When you're getting paid like that, you should be expected to win. I mean, you're not getting paid in thoughts and tears and bread baskets.
Right. And for everybody who's, like all the NC State fans who are up in arms right now at the fact that, that Will Wade had the nerve to leave for LSU, like he started here. He was in love with this girl over here first. He was just intrigued by you.
For sure.
So he's just coming back to what he's known. Like he went 55-12 in conference in the SEC. He's comfortable here. He's got inroads here. His daughter was born in Louisiana. Like he spent almost a decade in Louisiana. This is home for him. So it's not an indictment on NC State. It's just this is where he wanted to be.
Yeah, I think it's in a kind of an anomalous situation because I could sit here and make an argument that NC State's a better job than LSU.
Absolutely.
I think, a lot of people, even LSU fans, that if you're willing to take off the purple and gold glasses, it's just like LSU's a better football job than NC State is. I don't think anybody would argue that. But the situation, and you've got to think if you're Will Wade, that one, it was your first big opportunity. You proved that you could win there, that you could do well there. It's in a big-time league. Not that the ACC isn't in basketball. But think about getting fired from a place and then that place begging you to come back. And I think they did beg them. I think they really did.
I think they did too.
Because it's a proven concept. And I don't think that makes you weak. I think it makes you smart. I think it makes you a little bit humble. Because now if you're Will, imagine walking back in the place that fired you and they just have to have you back because you're the only one that showed them a good time. I think that's a pretty safe feeling in a very unsecure world that is college athletics from a coaching standpoint. So I get why he did it, and I think he wants to finish what he started, man. I really believe that. So, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for LSU, and I think he's going to do well.
You just gave me a point that I didn't even consider. Like, imagine the difference between the first day one that he had versus what this day one is going to be.
Oh, yeah, nobody's saying nothing now. Yeah, nobody's saying nothing now. And probably all the things that were said. And look, I know the people that fired him are gone. I'm not saying that Will Wade somehow has this like revenge in his mind to screw over LSU. But I think, and of course, my daughter, it's nap time right now. Here, you want to get down? Or you want to talk about Will Wade? What do you want to do? What do you think? You just want to wave? Say
he
hi
is the general.
Quick. Yeah, say hello.
Hi.
Hi. There you go. There you go. All right, I'm going to put you down. Be good. Don't put that bottle in your mouth again, please. Anyways, no, I just think it is a feeling of redemption, and I expect him to hit the ground running.
Absolutely. Look, I know we touched on Lane Kiffin, and I don't want to keep you too long since we got to put baby girl asleep. But before we get to all that, just tell me, before we get to Lane Kiffin, tell me your impressions on this LSU football roster as we're going in the spring, and what you think the expectation should be for LSU.
Well, I always think the expectation, the standard for LSU should be as high as anybody's. Not saying that you're stupid and fire a guy if he doesn't win the national championship every year, but I think one of the reasons that we've seen this turnover, even after the highs that Ed Orgeron had, I'm talking about on the field, not off the field, and Les Miles, LSU doesn't expect you to do it once. They expect you to do it a lot. And I think the minute the standard drops is when you're cooked. especially
Right.
in this day. And I say the same thing to Auburn fans all the time. And Auburn's been just absolute cheek water for a while. But the minute that standard drops, you can't operate in this jungle, man. It's kill or be killed. You got to view yourself as the biggest alpha, as the biggest lion in the pack, and the baddest one there. So you paid Lane Kiffin a lot of money. This roster costs a lot of money, and they expect you to go out and have a lot of success. And when I do look at this roster, especially on the line of scrimmage, and knowing what I know about Lane, now being paired with Blake Baker at a place like LSU, why the hell shouldn't it work? You know, I when Brian Kelly got the job, I thought, hey, listen, man, you're going to get a guy that is a CEO type, that is a organizer, that understands structurally. Maybe the lack of consistency that LSU had was based on structure and consistency, whether that be identity or culture. Lane, I think, kind of understands that, but he's bringing his own flavor. He's bringing a little bit of that Louisiana attitude.
Swag.
I know he's not from there. I get that, but I think you have to have a little bit of arrogance to win at LSU, and I think Lane has it.
No, absolutely. Like I think that's the thing that we've been missing. It's the thing that put Ed Ogeron over the top. It's that attitude, that swag, that energy, that not cockiness, not brashness, but the confidence within himself, knowing who he is and what he can do.
Without a doubt. Again, if you're going to survive in this ecosystem, I don't care. And again, I'm not saying you got to be a jerk or you got to talk trash to people or be a terrible human being, but deep inside, you got to realize, hey, I'm the biggest dog out of all the big dogs. Isn't that right, honey?
Yeah,
Isn't that right?
That's why she's the biggest big dog. Out of
she
all
is
of
the
us
biggest
right
dog. She makes all the decisions.
Right.
But
She
no,
makes us
Lane
all
has
move.
that, and you need that. And look, I think Summerall has it at Florida. I think Golish has a little bit of it at Auburn. And you have to have it. It's the only way to live.
Absolutely. So when we look at the teams that made the playoffs last year, and we know that James Madison won't be in it, but we also know that the group of five will always get a spot. We're talking about nationally. There are 4 teams that we all expect should make a jump into this 12-team playoff next year. And we're looking at USC, Texas, Notre Dame, and LSU specifically. If we're thinking that these teams should make it in, what teams do you think will fall out that made it in last year? Because in order for those teams to get in, somebody's got to come out.
Well, look, we're not going to have 2 group of fives in. We should never have 2 group of fives in my opinion. I'm not saying keep them out. I just think the way we pick teams is the dumbest thing ever.
Right, and that's why
I'm interested to see how Indiana. Yeah, I'm interested to see how Indiana does now that core group of JMU guys is gone, and Mendoza was so clutch for him last year. Hoover turns the ball over a little bit too much. Just ask Sonny Dykes. But I think Indiana actually takes a step back this year. Not that they won't make the college football playoff. I know that was the question. I don't expect them to be as efficient or as really as dominant as they were. I would throw Penn State in the mix too as a team that I wouldn't be shocked to bounce back. I've got a C on Clemson. I mean, they returned so much production last year and did absolutely nothing. But outside of the group of 5 teams, I wouldn't be shocked if Texas A&M makes it in again with Marcel Reed and what he's able to do. Teams that were in it last year, I expect Oregon to be there. I expect Ohio State to be there. Man, just off the top of my head, I'm not seeing outside of the group of 5 a team that I'm like, all right, I'm totally ready to write these guys off. That they're not going to make it in. But what I do think you're going to see, and it's going to be fascinating down the stretch, is if the strength of schedule, the way the committee's gone about it by picking teams, is going to be consistent when they look at it at the end. Because I think this year, and we'll see with Oklahoma, but I think you'd be nuts to sit here and say, well, Oklahoma's definitely not going to make the college football playoff. I think that'd be a crazy thing to say. But I think we see a 9-3 SEC or Big Ten team make it this year. I think we're going to have our first 9-3 team come out of either one of those 2 conferences.
That feels right to me because there's going to be so much parity. And if you look at the final top 11, I'm not going to say 12 because a group of 5 always gets one. James Madison won't get a spot. It's hard to say that these 12 teams won't make it with how they responded in the offseason with the transfer portals that they all brought in and the amount of returning coaches that you have in that. Like every one of them outside of Ole Miss is returning their head coach. So it's hard to say that they're not going to be back in it again. So
yeah. And look, there's always good surprises. There's always bad surprises. And you talk about continuity. At the end of the day, that's the name of the game. In a college athletics world of revolving parts all the time with basically no guardrails, continuity was always important. Experience is always important, but now I feel like it's almost double important because the learning curve of not having to be in a new system or learn new terminology is big. But man, look, I wouldn't be shocked if LSU was the number 1 overall seed. I wouldn't be shocked if Ole Miss had a damn good year again with Trinidad coming back and Kejuan Lacey coming back and some of the pieces they have. That's why this year is fascinating. And again, you look at a team like Georgia. Who's going to say that they don't think Georgia's going to be back in it? Or Alabama, or some of these teams that we already saw. So it may be a little bit of a run-it-back situation, but I think we're going to have some new blood in there. At least I hope so. It keeps it interesting.
I'm going to give you a hot take. I think Ole Miss and Alabama both take a step back.
Again, now I'm telling you right now, we just watched Indiana go 16-0 and win the national championship. Nothing would shock me. Nothing. There is Iowa and Nebraska are about to play in the Sweet 16. AP, there's nothing that could shock me. Bro, there's nothing that could shock me.
2026, what a year. Indiana wins a national championship, and it wasn't even the headline at the time. The headline was Lane Kiffin becoming the coach at LSU. And then you have Iowa and Nebraska competing in the playoffs in basketball.
I mean, when's the asteroid coming?
Legit, like we have to be on at the end times right now. Now, Jake, a lot of people may not know this about you, but I do. I know you played baseball at University of South Alabama. So I know you have a love for baseball. Give me your thoughts on this LSU baseball program right now with where they are.
Well, I mean, you've done a whole hell of a lot of winning here lately. I mean, I don't think you could sit here. That's a high class problem. Look, I always, especially as somebody that played with baseball, and it's kind of like basketball to a certain degree. One guy can win a game. If you have 2 or 3 guys that can go out there on Friday and Saturday and Sunday and keep you in it, you can win a lot of games. We know LSU is talented. I know there's some guys that aren't performing the way that some want them right now. LSU's going to be fine. Just get into the regional, get into the super, and watch what happens. They're too talented not to.
Thank you.
Gravity's a real thing.
Thank you. That's all we've been saying the entire time is just be patient. Like, let the team work through it. It's new. They got a lot of new to work through. And you're hearing it from a guy who played collegiate baseball. Like, just breathe, y'all. Just breathe.
Yeah, and again, how many times have we seen baseball teams, and again, struggling at LSU is doing well at most other places, but how many times have we seen them struggle and then turn it on and look like the best team in the country, go to Omaha and just mop up?
Roll through people. I mean, not to bring this up, but the school in Oxford, literally had to fight and win the SEC tournament a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Got hot and blazed through Omaha all the way through a World Series.
It's all about win, and I would much rather peak late than early. Rather peak late than
absolutely.
Early. So I wouldn't panic. There shouldn't be any panic. Jay's a hell of a coach.
I'm going to ask you to do me a favor right here on the spot. We do a tradition within the community every weekend for every game where we pick a guy that we think is going to hit a home run to lead off the home run.
Look at these numbers.
So I want to give you a second to pull up the LSU baseball roster. And
I just want to look at who's hot here lately.
Yes.
That's what I mean. I know guys on the team. I just want to see who do y'all got this weekend?
We are playing Kentucky this weekend. Small ball team.
Not a bad baseball team.
We call this segment pick to click. And I want you to know I'm going to ask you to pick a guy for each day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
For each day.
And for each day. And I'm going to clip it for each day that we do it. You'll be our celebrity pick to click. So for those who aren't live, they'll be able to catch it. For those who are live, they're going to see it. So the 2 hottest hitters we have in the lineup right now are Omar Cerner Jr., true freshman out of Texas, who plays catcher, but he's always in the lineup as a regular for DH if he's not behind the plate. And then Jake Brown, who is literally just out of this world right now.
That dude's unreal.
Yeah. So those are the 2 hottest that we have right now.
Okay.
And Jack York just Tuesday night blasted off for 2 home runs against La Tech.
Yeah, fat kids can hit, man. They can.
Thank you.
I was one. Literally, I promise. Tell us about 16. All right, here's what I'll do. Friday night, I'm going to go with Actually, Friday night. This is fun. I didn't expect this. Give me. Let me make sure I pronounce this right. Cade Arambide.
Cade Arambide.
All right, give me Arambide. I know he's got 4 on the year. I feel like Friday night he may go Oppo Taco. On Saturday, give me Jake Brown.
Okay.
Right? That 386, that is just absolutely melting. And then Sunday, give me Zach York, the York Peppermint Patty.
All right. So we got Cade Arambide for Friday night.
Yes.
Jake Brown for Saturday. And then you got Zach Big Papa York for Sunday. Now, please do me a favor, Jake. My guy, Paul Jarrett, I'm going to send you a message with his Twitter handle. Give him a follow. He's the one that does this for us. He organizes all the videos, puts it out together, and shares it out there. He even gives away a prize to people who like picks the right name in the comments. Like he'll go get like autograph memorabilia.
Just give me tickets to a game. I've never been to a game in Alex Box.
April 18th, we're getting together for the Texas A&M series.
Ooh,
and my birthday is on the 13th. So I'm letting you know now, like, why don't you just come on down?
Dude, look, don't tempt me with a good time.
I'm tempting you with a good time.
Yeah, I went to Mississippi State last year. It was awesome. I'm trying to go to one new one every season. I've got to go to LSU.
Come on to the box. I'm absolutely. I'm kind of hurt right now learning that you haven't been in the box.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of embarrassed admitting it.
Okay, we're even boiling crawfish. Like, thank you, Zach, for.
Yeah, well, I just come for that. I mean, I don't even care if there's baseball. I mean, I would come for that alone.
So, all right. So, I'm gonna pencil you in, Jake. Like,
look, pencil me in. You know how it is with kids, but like, pencil me in right now. Tentatively, I will be there with emotions and friendship.
I completely understand, man. Look, I have a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, and an 11-year-old, so I completely get it. And
oh yeah, you've been golly. You're basically at the end of the war.
Well, look, let me tell you something. My wife wants to start another battle.
Well, I mean, she's like your wife. She makes the rules, so congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pray for me.
Yeah, I will.
Pray for me. Look, my son played at Etna Car, won a state championship. My daughter's at
nice.
Alcorn.
Etna Car is full of ballers.
Yes. My daughter's at Alcorn State University, and then my daughter, she's a major Etna dancer. So our schedules are hectic. Like it's hectic.
Oh, I bet.
I get it.
I can only imagine. We got another one coming in August. Now we got to play man-to-man defense, so I'm having to teach my wife the principles.
Just don't get into zone.
Yeah, no, we can't play zone anymore. We got to get out of the zone turn. It's pure man eyes, pure man turns.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? We're having to leverage. Can't give them a two-way go, all type of stuff. So we're working on it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, I know you got to put the little one down. We're going to close out the show right now, but I do want to hang out with you for just 2 minutes after we wrap everything up, okay?
Yeah.
And just I want to shout out some of the comments that were in here because we got a couple guys in here that were hollering at you. Let's see here. Just starting at the top. My guy Paul, who I was talking about, saying what's up. Jake, how are you, buddy? I'm gonna make sure Jake gets with you, Paul, for Pick the Click. My guy Justin Babin, he's absolutely a huge follower of you, man. He talks.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. We all thank you. Again, without you guys, there is no us. So we're eternally grateful. And it's like I tell my wife, I think she agrees. I can't believe people actually listen.
Look, I told my wife this. My wife was the one who actually made me do this. She said, "Look, just turn the camera on. Somebody's gonna find you."
Just do it. Yeah.
Like, so I'm more shocked that people actually listen than she is. She's actually happy that other people are listening to me and she's not. So
yeah, that's actually, to be honest with you, I think I just cracked the code on that as well. So but no, Alex, what's up, man? Hope you're doing good. Or yep. She, I'm not sure.
No, Alex is a female. Okay. She's doing.
There we go. There we go. Appreciate you, Alex.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
That's Zach Nunez. He's been breaking all the Will Wade news. He's been out ahead on it, all of it first. Like, he's a legit great guy too, by the way. Yeah. My brother David Billiot, he's covering LSU.
Oh yeah, I've seen him on social before. I've seen him on social.
Absolutely. And Lon Phillips, he's absolutely smoking.
Yeah, Lon, what's
football. Up? So he's always in there. And then we got a couple other guys in here. My guy, Drunk Blake Baker, he's saying nap time is always undefeated.
Undefeated.
So
has never lost. They could beat Saban's best Bama team.
Absolutely, man. So I definitely want to let you guys make sure that you guys understand that we love you here, Jake, and we cannot we cannot appreciate you more for doing this, man. I can't appreciate you more for doing
Well,
this.
look, real recognize real. Sorry, she got a little bit upset. Yeah,
Man,
next time I'll make sure it's me. My wife had a work emergency, but hey, keep doing what you're doing, bro. It's working, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And again, anytime you need any of us, me, Blaine, or Cone, just hit us up, and we have a great relationship with LSU, and we really appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Jake, stay on with me for 1 second. Thank you guys for everybody joining today. I cannot tell you how much it means for me. This wouldn't happen without your support. Thank you guys for showing up for Jake as well. Like he said, y'all heard it here. He will be back and possibly at the Crawfish Boil. Say bye, baby.